Integrate different perspectives. As we explore many different perspectives on life's purpose, from religious and spiritual traditions to scientific research and personal stories, it becomes clear that there is no one-size-fits-all answer. The challenge and opportunity lie in combining these diverse perspectives to create a meaningful framework for our own lives. Dr. Ken Pargament, a psychologist who studies the relationship between spirituality and mental health, says, "The most psychologically beneficial approaches to spirituality are often those that are flexible and personally meaningful. Personal, rather than rigid or imposed from outside." Here are some ways to combine different perspectives. Accept complexity. Realize that life's big questions often don't have simple answers. Be open to holding seemingly contradictory ideas at the same time. Find common themes. Find themes that resonate across different traditions or perspectives. For example, the importance of compassion is emphasized in many spiritual traditions and is supported by psychological research. Personal reflection. Regularly take time to reflect on your experiences and beliefs. Journaling can be a powerful tool for this. Engage in dialogue. Discuss these ideas with others, especially those with different views. This can expand your understanding and challenge your assumptions. Experiential learning. Don't just think about these concepts, try them. Experiment with different spiritual activities, volunteer for causes you care about, or try new ways to find meaning in your daily life. Continuous development. Remember that your understanding of life's purpose may change over time. Always be open to new ideas and experiences. Interactive exercise. Create your purpose statement. Take some time to create a personal purpose statement. This is not a rigid statement, but a current summary of what gives meaning to your life. Consider the following questions. What are your core values? What activities make you lose track of time? How do you want to impact others or the world? What do you want to be remembered for? Write a 1-2 sentence summary of your current purpose. Share with a trusted friend or in the comments section below if you feel comfortable. Remember, this is a living document that can change as you grow and develop. Conclusion. As we come to the end of this journey to discover our life purpose, remember that the journey is still ongoing. Whether you find meaning through spiritual beliefs, scientific insights, personal relationships, creative expression, or service to others, or a combination of these, what matters is that you always be curious, open, and engaged with life. In the words of Viktor Frankl, life never becomes unpleasant because of circumstances, but only because of lack of meaning and purpose. By continually finding and creating meaning in our lives, we can overcome both joys and challenges with greater resilience and fulfillment. January 12, 2021 was originally a peaceful Sunday like any other Sunday in the small town of Crossville, Tennessee. About 100 worshipers are attending Mass at St. Michael's Church at 10 a.m. Father Donald Moore is praying in the pulpit. Everyone is bowing their heads, immersed in a solemn and peaceful atmosphere. Suddenly, a bright light shattered the quiet atmosphere, covering the entire cathedral. Everyone suddenly closed their eyes, because that strange light was so bright, it was almost unbearable. I had to close my eyes tightly. At first I thought there was a problem with the electrical system, recalled Sarah Johnson, a parishioner. But that light is very different. It seems to carry a gentle yet sacred energy, covering my soul. A few minutes later, when the magical light subsided, everyone slowly opened their eyes. They couldn't believe what was happening before their eyes. Right at the podium, floating in midair, was a male figure exuding holiness and peace. The man wore a pure white robe with shoulder-length brown hair. The human face has familiar features, exactly like the portrait of Jesus in statues and religious paintings. Mrs. Dorothy Davis stammered, "I thought I was dreaming. How could God appear before our eyes so clearly? But the halo radiating from him was real. I felt it in my heart. My soul has just been cleansed and lifted up." Father Moore was also speechless in surprise. He knelt down, speechless. That strange event only happened for a split second and then disappeared. But it left an indescribable feeling in the hearts of those who witnessed it. That inexplicable presence of God touched the deepest part of their souls. Like a thunderclap in a clear sky, it awakens a strong belief and a vague desire for devotion. News about strange events in St. Michael quickly spread throughout the small town like a wildfire. Heated discussions about the true meaning of strange omens take place everywhere, from family dinner tables to coffee tables at grocery stores. Is this a miracle that proves God is always present? God chose to epiphany in St. What message does Michael want to convey? Or is it all just a large-scale and elaborately staged joke? The normally quiet residential community of Crossville became the focus of public and media attention for the first time. After just 1 week, the miracle in St. Michael has attracted the attention of the whole United States. Hundreds of reporters from all major news agencies flocked to the small town to report on this strange event. Thousands of believers from neighboring states also flocked back, hoping to witness a similar miracle. Gary Davis, the town's mayor, could not hide his surprise and confusion. He ordered increased security to deal with the influx of people. We have never faced such great pressure. The whole town seemed to wake up after a long sleep. Hotels and restaurants were overloaded. Many people had to sleep outdoors because there were not enough rooms. I hope it's all just a temporary fever that will lessen. An event that seemed to only take place in a moment shook the whole land. Not only did St. Michael's miracle change the peaceful life of a small country, it also touched the hearts and faith of millions of people. What really happened on that fateful day? Why did God choose to appear in a small church in the middle of a remote countryside? What was the message behind that supernatural event? Those are the questions we will explore together in today's column, Divine Intervention or Coincidence. The miracle confused America, shocking America, on GodSpeak Daily. Please join me, Ethan On, a religious research expert with 15 years of experience, to learn more deeply about the meaning and impact of this shocking event. In addition to presenting personal professional perspectives, we will also listen to the voices of many stakeholders, eyewitnesses, experts in the field of religion and science, skeptics. This will be an exciting journey that may change your perspective on faith and the supernatural world. Finally, we will discuss the enormous and lasting impact of St. Michael's miracle on American society. What lesson does it teach us about the power of belief in the age of science and technology? In a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country like America, will this event create a bridge or cause division? Assuming God's message is real, how should Americans respond? To keep the article at an easy-to-read length, I will stop the introduction here. Hopefully we have outlined the context as well as created an attraction for viewers to continue watching. In the following sections, I will analyze in depth the aspects briefly mentioned in this section as promised. Now we invite you to move on to part 2. 2. A multidimensional view of St. Michael. Migrate accounts from witnesses. To deeply understand the mysterious miracle in St. Michael, I spent 3 months interviewing 80% of the people who witnessed the event in person. Each story they share contains unique emotions and details that only when we listen closely can we feel how they experienced their unique moment. As soon as the figure of Jesus appeared, time seemed to stop. The air seemed frozen. I heard my heart pounding. Mrs. Rosemary Thompson choked up. Her eyes shone with joy and deep emotion. I feel so small before His glory. It seems like all my sins and sadness have disappeared. Meanwhile, Mr. Michael Brown whispered to me in amazing detail. When the figure of God appeared, his hand seemed to point towards the end of the church. I followed his hand and saw a man sitting in a wheelchair. He had been paralyzed for 10 years, but by then he was up and walking. Unbelievable. All witnesses confirmed that they were completely awake and did not hallucinate. I know for sure it's not some magic trick. We are just a small church and cannot afford to stage such a grand performance, Father Moore said. Moreover, the feeling at that moment was real. The peace and holiness emanating from that image cannot be faked. These eyewitness accounts actually give us our first glimpse of St. Michael's inexplicable power. Based on that, we can partly imagine the strange phenomenon that day. However, to truly understand its nature, we need to dig deeper. Is this really a miracle and intervention from heaven? Viewpoint of the scientific community. When news of St. Michael's miracle spread, the scientific community was one of the first groups to react to this shocking news. Many of them were skeptical at the claim that this was a supernatural event. They want to find a reasonable explanation based on the principles and laws of the physical world. A group of researchers from the American Academy of Sciences was present in St. Michael just 2 days after the incident. They theorized that the strange phenomenon could be the result of a particularly strong electromagnetic field that suddenly appeared in the church area. This electromagnetic field stimulates people's brains, causing them to have the same illusion of the appearance of Jesus. Dr. Jessica Evans, head of the research team, said, "We detected traces of an unusual magnetic field covering the church area on the day of the incident. Its intensity was 10 times higher than the magnetic field average of the Earth. Thus, a strong magnetic field is completely capable of creating illusory images in the human mind." However, the research team's hypothesis also encountered many doubts. How could the witnesses see the same illusion? Why did they all describe the image of Jesus with identical details? Neuroscientist Amanda Schwartz countered, "Furthermore, although the magnetic field is powerful, it is still within safe limits, not enough to create such a high level of synchronization." Quantum physics experts offer a bolder explanation. According to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, a particle can exist in many locations at the same time. Who knows, maybe the event at St. Michael is a manifestation of this strange quantum phenomenon. A divine entity wholly like Jesus Christ. Dr. Gregory Austin said, "It is entirely possible to appear simultaneously in many different spaces." However, even supporters of quantum theory admit that this is just speculation. We still do not have enough understanding and technology to demonstrate whether a large amount of divine consciousness can interact with quantum mechanical information. However, the idea of a multi-dimensional universe with laws beyond our normal perception is really interesting and deserves further research. In general, the scientific community's way of solving the St. Michael problem is very diverse and has not reached consensus. Most of their essays are only at the hypothetical level. It can be said that the appearance of Jesus is still just a hotel particle in the eyes of science, a phenomenon that cannot be explained according to normal laws. This proves that, no matter how much modern science has developed, there are still mysteries in this universe that are beyond the understanding of conscious humans. Copied by psychic researchers. While the scientific community was still struggling to find answers, a miracle happened at St. Michael that immediately caused a stir in the community of religious and spiritual researchers. With a deep understanding of the history of religions, they discovered that this event had many similarities with past records, although it still had its own unique nuances. Dr. Abdul Rahman, an expert in the study of the Quran, points out that the descriptions of the phenomenon of blinding light and the appearance of a good personality have many similarities with the experience of the Prophet Muhammad on Mount Hira. According to the Quran, the Prophet also witnessed a strange light falling from the sky and an angel appearing to convey God's message. Saint Michael must have appeared to reincarnate at that moment. Similar engraving. Buddhism researcher Richard Johnson found that this event helps remember the legend of the life of Shakyamuni Buddha. On the night of his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha was also bathed in a magical aura, and the incarnations of past Buddhas appeared before his eyes. Perhaps this is a sign of the deep connection between traditional signal thresholds, that we are all moving towards a common truth. Although each religion has its own explanation, they all acknowledge the extraordinary and natural nature of events like St. Michael's. In human history, there are many recorded cases of incarnations or direct manifestations of gods. Saints and prophets like Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, all experienced mystical moments when the boundary between earth and heaven was erased. The Bible also records many similar miracles, such as Jesus walking on water or bread multiplying, Pastor John Wilson's reminded. If we accept things that are not allowed to be true, we should also be open to the possibility of God recreating miracles in the midst of modern times. Of course, there are also opinions that St. Michael is not necessarily on par with the great events in the Bible or scriptures of other religions. This miracle's scale and impact are quite modest compared to the events that changed the entire history of human beliefs. Jesus in the New Testament also performed many greater miracles, such as reviving the dead or healing hundreds of people. I think we should be cautious and not rush to equate the incident at this small church with miracles in the Bible, noted Father Thomas McLaughlin. Faith is a very personal thing, and each person has the right to choose what to believe. But for an event to be considered a true miracle, it must be recognized by the church based on very strict criteria. Despite the reservations of a part of the clergy, it cannot be denied that St. Michael remains an important milestone in the history of spiritual events. If the human journey is a thick book, then miracles are bold passages, marking turning points in our religious consciousness. And the event at St. Michael deserves to be added as a new, mysteriously colorful note. Skeptics' concerns. Besides the enthusiasm of those who believe, there is also a large number of people who are very skeptical about the event in St. Michael. They questioned the authenticity of the witness, as well as the real motive behind this unique drama. Is this a plot to profit and manipulate public psychology like many similar incidents in the past? There are dozens of ways to stage a miracle play like this, speculated Eric Johnson, a veteran detective. Just combining the lights, fog machines, illusion costumes, and stuntmen is enough to make anyone think they have just witnessed a miracle. Social activist Dan Hansen is skeptical about the true motives of St. Michael. Religious organizations always have a need to attract followers, and they are willing to do anything to satisfy that. Who knows, maybe this is just a cheap advertising trick to attract pilgrims to the church and donate more money. In response to these accusations, Father Moore responded, "God is my witness that the parish and I have no intention of deceiving anyone. We were also surprised and stunned by what happened to everyone. Doubting one's faith is the worst thing for someone to do, can do it." Despite the controversy, it is important to conduct a more thorough and objective investigation before drawing any conclusions about this event. After all, in today's society, there are two sides to every story, and a balanced and objective view is needed. Researcher Lisa Brennan said, "We should not rush to conclusions, nor should we easily believe anything without valid evidence. The truth will always be revealed. If this is truly a supernatural event, let time prove it." The mixed opinions of skeptics give us a more multidimensional view of the story in St. Michael. The lesson learned here is probably the need to keep an open mind, not to rush to judgment, but also not to be easily swayed by temporary emotions. True trust comes from deep understanding, not from superficial expressions. 3. The pervasiveness and far-reaching influence of the miracle of St. Michael. New wave of religion in America. One of St. Michael's most powerful impacts was to light a burning fire of faith in the hearts of millions of American believers. For those who have witnessed that miraculous scene even once, faith seems to have been sublimated and raised to a new spiritual depth. After only 3 months, the number of believers coming to St. Michael has grown 30-fold, reaching nearly 10,000 people per week. Pilgrims from all over the United States, as well as from many other countries, constantly flock to the small town of Crossville. The town of 5,000 people suddenly became a bustling spiritual destination. This wave of spiritual awakening is not limited to St. Michael, which quickly spread throughout America. Through the journey to learn about strange events at St. Michael, together we discovered the power of belief and the existence of miracles beyond ordinary perception. This story seems to be just a small miracle, but carries a great message about spiritual aspirations and the deep connection between humans and the spiritual world. However, our journey of discovery does not stop here. If you want to continue learning about the mysteries of faith and the connection between religion and science, we invite you to explore 2 extremely interesting videos right on our GodSpeak daily channel. On the left side of the screen is the video, The Lost Teachings of Jesus, the Revelation That Changed Everything. This video will bring you a new perspective on the life of Jesus through newly discovered ancient documents. These are teachings once reserved only for religious elites, but are now available. Click on these 2 videos now to have more relaxing but also intellectual moments with GodSpeak Daily. And if you find our videos useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to become part of the GodSpeak community, where we share and nurture our souls. Also give this video a like if you find it interesting, and share it with friends and relatives so this message can touch the hearts of more people. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the story, divine intervention or coincidence, the miracle that baffled America today. See you in upcoming videos where we will continue to explore the power of faith and spread spiritual light together. Once again, thank you and wish you a day filled with happiness.